There he is. That's Sinbad, my favorite guy. Well, how's everybody doing? It's been a while since I've gone live. Of course, you all know if you followed me for a while that I was in Japan for like a month, which was great and a good time. And unfortunately, tonight Jared will not be able to join me. He's not feeling well. And he is going to be back. I think we're going to try to come back in August and do another film. We're going to do The Love Bug next, either August or September. But he's hanging in there. We've had a busy summer. We did Disneyland in April, then we did Disney World in May, and then June was like I left and he started a new job. So Jared will be back. And how's everybody doing? Elmer and somebody else said hi. Kenneth Day, how you doing? So today I'm just gonna talk about our Tokyo Disney trip that we made, but before that, I had a couple things I wanted to chat about. First off is I've been working with Kristen over at Mousetalgia, the Mousetalgia podcast, and she makes these cool wallets out of Disneyland maps. She actually makes a bunch of cool things. If you check out her Etsy shop, it's called Boardtique, Boardtique, and she's got all sorts of goodies there that she repurposes out of like paper products or ephemera, and she upcycles or repurposes them into like useful everyday items. So there's a 10% discount code if you go to her Etsy shop, and she'll give you 10% off if you put my handle, Keeping Walt and Disney, and the discount code thingy when you check out. You can get a wallet. You can also get one of these wallets here by going to the post I made on Monday, liking it, and then leaving a comment, tagging a friend, and then make sure you follow me and you follow Boardtique on Instagram. So then you'll be eligible. And the contest ends tomorrow night, Friday night, 11:59 p.m. Disneyland time. So hi everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. It's been kind of crazy with Instagram lately. Things have been kind of slow on my account. I don't know why. It's the algorithm, I guess. But on the other hand, my YouTube channel is like really taking off. I'm like almost near 7,000 subscribers. So a lot of folks are jumping on that Disneyland anthology or old Walt Disney TV bandwagon and really enjoying those programs. So I'd encourage you to head over to YouTube, Keeping Walt and Disney, the same name, and you can see all those great programs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So, Elmer, I think you're trying to request to be in the show. I'm just going to kind of do this one solo tonight. But we can plan on that. Let's chat offline if you want to be in a show with me. That would be cool. But just going to be just me tonight. So, yeah. But one thing I've noticed lately that's kind of been bugging me, so I'm going to kind of start off this show with a little bit of bad news. And that's a lot of comments that I read on my account and on YouTube that even though I post a lot of great historic content that is just awesome, I love to celebrate Walt Disney and the content that was produced while he was alive, people are always commenting like Walt is spinning in his grave over what's happening today, or Walt Disney wouldn't be happy with the way things are today. And I get all these requests from people, hey, can you sign this petition, or can you help me write a letter to the company saying, we don't like the quote woke policies that Disney's doing today. And for one thing, I'll tell you right now, the word woke, I hate it. I do not like that word. I do not like the phrase Walt spinning in his grave, because nobody knows how Walt would react to everything that's going on today. He's a genius. Unless you're a genius, you can't comprehend genius and how geniuses would react to to things going on in the world. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, I get a lot of grief from people. Like, I commented on a post where someone said Disney's dead, and I'm like, well, I don't think Disney's dead. I mean, you can still find joy in that avenue of Disney that you love, and if you love it, you basically, if you receive joy from something that you love in the Disney realm, why not celebrate that and share it with people? And I got some flack for drinking the Kool-Aid, but you can't you just love the old Disney and not worry about what's going on with the company today? So that's really what my message is all about, and it's, let's look for the good in Disney, like Pollyanna, the total Pollyanna effect. If you're going to constantly look at what's bad that's going on, that's all you're going to feel when you ever hear the word Disney, or you hear the name Walt Disney, or the movies that are coming out today. You're always going to feel like, oh, Disney, man, it sucks. I don't like what Disney's doing today. Because you have that attitude of looking for the bad. But there's still lots of good. Like, I'll go to the parks. The parks are great. I don't feel any of that negativity when I'm at the parks. I only see it online and social media. So my challenge is for folks who are tempted to say Walt's spinning in his grave or Disney's woke. And it's just like, don't have the attitude. Look for the good. What do you love about Disney? Focus on that. And if you focus on that and you look for the good, that's what you're going to feel whenever you hear the word Disney or you hear the name Walt Disney. So, yeah, that's just my advice. Look for the good. Be a Pollyanna. If you look for the good, that's what you're going to find, and that's what you're going to experience. So, guilty of feeling that way towards AP holders. Joshua says, guilty of feeling that way towards AP holders. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing, it's good to be an AP, but I think if you go to the park too much, I think you're a little bit too saturated. I was an annual pass holder in Florida and in California, and I kind of felt like, wow, the magic is like not always there when you go. I feel if you go like once or twice a year, maybe 3 times, that's the sweet spot right there. So that's just me, but everybody's different. And I'm with Connie Bowman Griffin. Just love the old Disney. That's what I love. I mean, I love some of the new stuff. Like I saw the Indiana Jones movie. That was great. I loved it. I have been watching some of the remakes lately, like Freaky Friday, Parent Trap. I love those, So, we like what we like. But don't just bash on Disney for some of the stuff. They're not always going to hit a home run. And, of course, the way the company is today, they're going to tell stories, and stories matter, and they're going to be diverse and inclusive and have all of that going on. So if that's your cup of tea and you enjoy it, then love it. If it's not your cup of tea, don't watch it. Go turn to what you love. So, Pollyanna's on Disney Plus, so I'll just throw that on. So Kenneth Day asks me, can I upload Nature's Carter Tours? I'm not familiar with that. I know Nature's Better Built Homes. If I'm uploading every episode that I have from season 1 through 25, and so I can't remember when Nature's Better Built Homes came out. I think that's like 22 or 23. So that's coming. Yeah, so just continue to subscribe and share my YouTube account or channel with others, and those will come out. I'm going to go back and start posting some Walt Disney lead-ins for programs that I can't put up on YouTube. A lot of the animated episodes, some of the episodes that show films in 1 or 2 or 3 parts. I'm going to upload the Walt Disney lead-ins to those. So I'm going to be busy with my YouTube channel for a long time. But today, we're going to talk about my trip to Tokyo Disneyland. And so, invite your friends. I see there's 6 people. So if you have friends that are interested in the Tokyo parks, give them a shout out. I'm also going to post this episode to Instagram later, and as well as to my YouTube channel. So if you can't stick around for the whole thing, no worries. We'll go for probably about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that, and you can come back and watch it. So yeah, hope the new Haunted Mansion movie will be good. Yeah, I'm kind of got some positive vibes watching the previews. So I think this incarnation of the Haunted Mansion will be a little more faithful to the attraction and the attraction story. So I'm excited for that. And I love Danny DeVito and Owen Wilson and Rosario Dawson. A lot of great cast, so it should be fun. Connie says, I'm an AP and I love my happy place. I can't imagine not having my pass, and I'm very grateful. And I always try and give the cast members kudos. Well, that's the attitude to have right there, Connie. You are always looking for the good. You're grateful for it. Yeah, it's a privilege to be a pass holder. It's not a guarantee. It's not a right. It's something that should be cherished and enjoyed, and always go out of your way to give the CMs high fives and cast compliments, which you can do through the app. I love doing that when I was at Disney World last time. I found the cast compliment in my Disney experience, and whenever I had a good experience with a cast member, I'd kind of mentally record their name and then go into the app that night and give them a little shout out. So yeah, that's great. What department did I work in when I was a cast member? I have never been a cast member, Joshua. I'd like to be one someday. I'm not from the LA or Florida area, so I grew up in Central California. I worked at a McDonald's and a pizza restaurant in high school and college. So, yep. So I'm just a Disney fan. That's it. But I love cast members. But yeah, thanks for where did you make magic back in 97 to 99? I think my first trip with my wife was in 98. We stayed at it's not the Paradise. It wasn't called the Paradise Pier. I think it was called the Pacific Hotel. We stayed there for a couple nights, and it's the first time I saw the Tiki Room that trip. So you're also from the Central Valley? Cool. Yeah, I'm from a little town called Avenel near Hanford, Visalia, that area of California. So and I went to West Hills College, College of the Sequoias, those little schools. And then I moved up to Sacramento and went to Sacramento State and graduated there with a math degree. So you worked in the Emporium. Great. Yeah, what a great place to work. I love the outfits that you guys wear in there. Very Victorian, vintage, very stylish. So that's cool. Yeah, the Pan Pacific Hotel. Yeah, that's what it was called before Disney bought it. And then when Disney bought it, I believe it was just called the Pacific Hotel. And then it was changed to like Pacific Pier and then Paradise Pier. I don't know. It had so many different name changes. But it was okay. It wasn't the Disneyland Hotel. And the Grand Californian was being built during that trip in 98. So, yeah. So, you guys ready to talk Tokyo Disney? What's 2 plus 2? I think it's 3, 9, 4. Oh, Joshua, you lived in Midtown Sac, J in 22nd. So you were near Sac State. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. My middle son was born at the hospital there on J Street near 22nd. So that's cool. Awesome, man. Love Sacramento. It's a great town. I miss the ice cream shops out there, like Leatherby's and there's a couple. But man, there was like no shortage of ice cream and soda fountains in Sacramento when I lived there. All right, so let's talk about Tokyo Disneyland or Disney Resort. It was a great trip. I mean, we were there for 4 weeks, not at the Rick's Dessert Diner. Yeah, that's a good place too. Yeah. Well, let's see. First of all, my wife is from Japan. And so I've made several trips there, all all the way back from 97 until now. We didn't make our first trip to Tokyo Disneyland until 2010. And we just did a 1 day at the resort. So we just did Disneyland that first time. And then in 2014, we did a 4 day trip and did both parks. And then 2017, we were there for a couple of days and did 1 day at each park. And then just a few weeks ago, we did 1 day in each park. So the opportunity to visit Japan is pretty frequent for us. We try to go every 2 or 3 years. Of course, it's really expensive now. And with COVID, this year was the first time we'd been back since 17. But it was great. You know, I love being over there. I love the people. I love how you get around, all the trains and everything. It's great. We bought the Japan Rail Pass, which is very convenient. So I think it was about $400 for a 2 week pass. So that allows you to ride on all of the JR rail lines with this ticket. And just to put it into context, if you make a round trip, like my wife's family's from Kobe, which is on the Shinkansen, it's just over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So round trip is about $250. So if you do 2 of those trips, you paid for you got your money back. So we did several trips. We went to Hiroshima, we went to Nagoya, we went to Okayama, which is a really historic town. We made another trip somewhere. I can't remember. We were on the bullet train a lot. But that's how you get to Tokyo Disney Resort from Kobe. So we took the Shinkansen from Kobe to Tokyo. Now, of course, if you fly into Tokyo, like to Haneda or Narita, you can just take an airport bus or make your way over there on the trains. Yeah, lots of school kids use the train. And that was cool. Like, when we're always riding the train from where my wife lives in the suburbs down to downtown Kobe, and we'd always see kids, just, like 4, 5, 6-year-old kids riding the train by themselves. It's awesome. And Saturdays, lots of kids, lots of young boys and girls going to academies or going to their sporting events and baseball practice, soccer practice, and things like that. So, yeah. It's crazy, and it's so fun. Like, you see, always in their uniform, and they're always like, you'll see a group of like 3 kids who are probably no more than 7 or 8 walking to the train station, getting on the train, knowing exactly where to go, get off the train, go do their thing, and then, of course, they make their way back home, and parents are always doing their own thing. So, very impressive, very safe. I always feel super safe in Japan, like, of course, I'm always, cognizant of what's going on around me, and, you have to be self-aware. But especially me being 6'3", I bang my head almost all the time walking into the trains. But so like I said, if you're flying into Tokyo at one of the major airports there, you can take an airport limousine to Tokyo Disney Resort, or you can take make your way to Tokyo Station, which is what we did from Kobe, and then you ride on the Keio line, which is one of the operated by Japan Railways, so our pass was valid on that line. And it's about a 15-minute trip on that line from Tokyo Station to Maihama, which is the station where you can access the resort. So from there, you kind of get out of that station, and then on the left, when you come out, on the left is the Disneyland monorail, or the Tokyo Disney Resort monorail, which you can buy. We were there for 4 days, so we got there on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday park days, and we left Thursday. So what we did was we bought this 4-day pass, which gave us unlimited trips on the monorail. And out there, the monorail is not free. It costs about 250 yen for a single trip. And there's only 4 stations on the monorail loop. But we did the math. We figured we were going to use it quite a bit because our hotel was right off the monorail. We stayed at the Sheraton Grand Tokyo Bay. Great hotel, part of the Marriott family of hotels. And I travel a lot for the Air Force, and so over the years I've been able to get like that titanium elite status. So we took a full advantage of the club level access and things like that. So that was nice. But we did the math and figured, hey, we'll just do a 4-day pass, and you get this cool little ticket. You just kind of slide this thing into, when you go through the gate, you just slide this in the slot, and boom, the gate opens and you get on the monorail, which are really cool. Yeah, feel free to ask questions as I go through the trip report. And Thomas asks, when's the best time to visit, taking crowds, weather, and cost into account? Thanks for all you do to keep Walt in our lives. Well, thanks, Thomas. I love that. I love that you appreciate the efforts I make to keep Walt alive. I would say the best time to visit is in the fall. Like our first trip was October. That was great weather. If you can't go in the fall, try to go mid-May to mid-July. It's warm. I mean, it's humid. I'll tell you what, this last trip, the weather was similar to what you'd experience like June, July in Florida. So if you're used to humidity, then you'll be fine. If you're not, then maybe do a trip to Disney World in the summer to prepare yourself for a summer trip in Japan. But yeah, that's because I say mid-May to mid-July, because you don't want to go the first week or two in May, because that's Golden Week. And if it's a holiday in Japan or a weekend in Japan, you do not want to be in a theme park unless that's the only time you can go. I mean, we went to Universal Studios quite a few times because my daughter works there in Osaka at the Universal Studios Japan, and we went on a couple Saturdays, and it's wall-to-wall people. I mean, you can't even see the pavement you're walking on. It's crazy. So try to avoid Saturdays and Sundays. We did a Tuesday and a Wednesday, so I think those are the two best days. Maybe Tuesday, Thursday are the two best days to be in the parks for crowds. Like I said, the weather is going to be warm. Maybe go in the early spring before, like March, maybe before the cherry blossoms are in bloom. Because if you're in Japan when the cherry blossoms are in bloom, you don't want to be in Disneyland. You want to go out and enjoy that spectacular views of the cherry blossoms all around the country. Cost is going to be, it's relatively stable no matter what time you go. The only market price changes that I saw were when you bought tickets on the weekend. They're a little bit more. So a 1-day pass for us was 8,400 yen, which because the dollar is so strong against the yen right now, it was about $62 for a 1-day ticket. And so we bought 2 1-day tickets. Right now, there are no park hoppers. So when you buy your tickets, you pick the day, you pick the park you're going to visit. So for Tuesday, we picked Disneyland. So we bought 5 tickets for that. My wife and 3 kids and me. And then for Wednesday, we bought the Disney Sea tickets. So we just did one park, 1 day. So no hopping at all right now. And back in 2014 when we went, we bought a 4-day ticket, and that was you pick the park you want to go to the first day, and then you can pick the park you want to go to the second day, and then days 3 and 4 you can hop around. But that's not the way they're doing things anymore. Yes, failed Imagineer, there are themed hotels. They have the Disneyland Hotel, which is very Victorian, almost kind of like a cross between the Grand Floridian in Florida and the I don't know, it's so unique. It's pretty elaborate Victorian style. You're not gonna get the red rooftops, but that kind of Victorian feel there. Then they have Miracosta, which is themed to just like Disney Sea, so very Italian Renaissance art, that style. very strong nautical themes, but not like the Northeast nautical themes like you'd see like in the Yacht Club Resort at Disney World. This is very Renaissance. And then there's the Disney Ambassador Hotel, which I've never been to that hotel, but it's sort of themed kind of like Hollywood kind of vibes, I guess. Then there's a new hotel called the Toy Story Hotel, which is all Toy Story. And you couldn't even visit that unless you had a reservation. if you're not staying at that hotel, you can't go visit it. So that was kind of a bummer. Thomas says they seem to not take away from the parks. They just add. That's true. Yeah, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. I mean, well, when they added the Beauty and the Beast land, they didn't take anything out. They just kind of, annexed some empty space and turned that into the Beauty and the Beast land. And that's what they're doing with Disney Sea, their new Fantasy Springs edition, which is going to kind of border on the Arabian coast / Lost River Delta section in Disney Sea. So you're going to get a Frozen Land, a Tangled Land, and Peter Pan, which is cool. And no, Caleb, I haven't even started talking about day one yet, so you didn't miss much. And see the whole new edition that they're doing is just kind of like a microcosm of how things are at that resort. Like they're adding some new stuff like Frozen and Tangled, but Peter Pan, they're adding a Peter Pan land because they love the new stuff and they love the old stuff. It's a really nice mix of old and new. So every show, every parade, everything you see out there, you're going to get a good dose of new, and which is great for the kids. And then the adults are going to get that nice dose of nostalgia from the classics they loved growing up. And that's just Walt's vision, right? A place where parents and children can have fun together. Of course, we all enjoy the new stuff and the old stuff, and having that nice mix of both old and new is just really refreshing, I think. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So, we arrived early afternoon. We checked into the hotel. Of course, we rode around the monorail and then did a little bit of shopping and had dinner in their downtown Disney area, which is called Ikspiari. And they had a Kua'aina burger shop there. So if you've ever been to like Haleiwa and on Oahu out in Hawaii, you can have a Hawaiian burger. It was great. So after eating Japanese food for 2 weeks straight, it was kind of nice to have a burger. And, me being a big American dude that likes burgers and fries. Yeah. So we did that. And then me and my two boys traveled up there on our own, which was kind of an adventure, trying to navigate the trains in Tokyo without my wife, who's a pro because she's Japanese. She and my daughter came up a little bit later that night. So, but at the end of the day, we were all snuggled up in our bed, ready for day one at Tokyo Disneyland. So before I talk about day one, just let's show off some of the merch here that I got. They had a really cool some small world stuff. So this pillow is something that was just released when we got there. So that's cool. And then of course it's the 40th anniversary of Tokyo Disneyland. So you pick up a few little knickknacks here. They have these little pennants that all the cast members had this little pennant underneath their name tag. There's a little safety pin on the back there that they could pin it to their name tag somehow. So that was kind of neat to see all the different colors. There's probably like 25 different variations of that. And so small world stuff. Of course, I found this little Sinbad guy and a little Chandu stuffy little plush keychain thingy. And they have these really neat little mystery boxes here. These are like only 900 yen a piece. So 900 yen is like probably $7, maybe $6, $7. And so I bought a bunch of those. One of those is going to be in the giveaway. And I got this little, the little caretaker guy and his dog was in one of those boxes. So very cool. And then I got this cool popcorn bucket. It's a Small World popcorn bucket. And, the clock goes around. And then you've got these little dolls in here that spin around. Whee! I know, I'm a nerd. But, we all love this stuff. But this is the coolest thing I think I got. I got a little Henry and his squirrel buddy, his raccoon buddy on top. So they have a little bit of Country Bear Jamboree merch, which is awesome out there. Because, that's just how they roll out in Tokyo. They love the classic stuff. It's also got this Small World Kleenex box thingy, which is pretty neat. And you can't really... Our Kleenex boxes here in the States are too tall. So I can't snap it up and hide the box really well. So I'm going to have to find a smaller tissue box there for that. Here's one of the coolest things that I got. And it's like a Country Bear, the Country Bear band. It's like a little serving tray. Yeah. And there's Henry and his squirrel buddy and Bubbles, Bonnie, and Beulah. So there they are. Awesome. So this is kind of a nice little tray. I don't know what I'm going to use it for other than just like set it on my coffee table and put stuff on it. Yeah, isn't that cool? I like the cartoony look of the bears there. Another thing that had this design on it were boxes of instant curry. So you could have bought a Country Bear band box of curry, and it's kind of like in a pouch where you boil it and then just pour it over rice. And if you go to Frontierland, there's a restaurant, like the Hungry Bear version they have over there. They serve lots of curry there. So no fried green tomato sandwich or hamburgers and french fries. Nope, you're going to get curry over rice at that place. And it's good. We love Japanese curry. It's not as spicy and overpowering like Japanese or Thai curry is. It's pretty mild. So we like it. So yeah, that's the merch there. And later on I'm going to kind of talk about, so maybe in about a half hour I'll talk about the merch I'm going to give away. So there's a few more other things here. So 40th anniversary of Disneyland, they had some retro stuff. So like these little towels here. I just love the logo, the Tokyo Disneyland logo there. And a little 40th anniversary little plate. So there were so many little items like these coasters, or this plate, that you could only get if you bought a snack and did the little upgrade to where you got the little memento that went with it. And I think with the merry-go-round thing, it was some sort of drink, like sort of a tropical drink, and you had to order that drink to get that plate. Otherwise, you weren't going to get it. So, another little cloth there. So that's how they get your money over there. A lot of the merch is like that. So, and then I kind of updated my Tokyo Disney shelf here a little bit. There's another little pennant, a coaster from the Teddy Roosevelt Lounge, and then they have these little Tomica, like their version of Matchbox for Hot Wheels. All these vehicles, like ride vehicles that you can buy. So I had a lot of these from previous trips, but this trip I bought this one, which is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride vehicle. And then this vehicle right here is their soaring vehicle. So it's a Small World Cup and a little Tokyo Disneyland mailbox thing, which was cool. So yeah, a lot of good merch. So room's kind of messy. Sorry, we just got back 4 weeks of stuff just lying around the house. But Roger Rabbit, yeah, they had some Roger Rabbit stuff in Toontown, but we didn't get any of it. But sure, you can get that. So day one was Tokyo Disneyland. The parks there are open from 9 to 9, and people will line up as early as 6:37 just so they can be in the front, especially if it's like a special giveaway, like a new Duffy, some sort of Duffy merchandise release. At Disney Sea, people will line up early so they can get in line for the merchandise. Yeah. But hotel, like if you're staying at one of the Disney hotels, the one we stayed at was a partner hotel. But if you're at a Disney hotel, you can get in 15 minutes early. We kind of showed up each day like right at 9. We weren't really in a hurry to get to do like rope drop too much, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. So we got up, we did the club level breakfast, and then took the monorail a couple stops to Disneyland. Walked right in. We bought our tickets online through an app called Klook. I was able to add them to the Tokyo Disney Resort app, which they have an English version. And then so right when we got into the park, we immediately made a Premier Pass reservation for the Beauty and the Beast ride, which is their newest attraction. And I think we paid like 2,000 yen per person to ride that. So a total of 10,000 yen or $70 roughly. So that we didn't have to wait in the 2-hour lines, because that's how long it was, almost all day. We didn't want to waste 2 hours of our day waiting in that line. And it wouldn't have been a waste because the queues are just amazing. But so we did that, and then we also did... Right away, we joined a lottery for one of the shows. My daughter has a friend that's in a show there. It was called Mickey's Magical Musical World or something, which is one of their most popular shows right now. And the first show of the day, you can just go stand by, wait in line, or you can try for a lottery where you can get a reserved seat. So we were able to hop on the app, put a request in for a certain, I think 1 or 2 in the afternoon it was, and then we were able to get an assigned seat. So we didn't have to worry about wasting time in a standby queue for that show. We can just show up 10, 15 minutes before the show starts and go right to our seat. So we did that, and then walked in, through the main street, of course, which is covered, which is nice because if it's raining, you have a nice little place to get away from that. And we walked through there pretty leisurely, and then got to the hub and took a bunch of pictures in front of the statue, and that was great. Did we see the Broadway show? Great Uncle Joe's asking. Is that the Mickey's... I wrote it down, the name of that show here. Hold on just a second. Mickey's Magical Musical World. That one, that's the one we saw in Disneyland. If you're talking about Disney Sea, like Big Band Beat, is that the one you're referring to? Joe, we did see that the next day at Disney Sea. Yep. So a few highlights. So what we kind of did was, after we took a bunch of pictures, we had the Premier Pass for Beauty and the Beast, so we just decided to walk like counter or clockwise. So we went to, when you go into Disneyland, you go to the left. There's Adventureland right there, so that's where Pirates of the Caribbean is. So we did Pirates of the Caribbean first, which was really nice because it's kind of a nice mix between Disney World and Disneyland. The entrance is like Disneyland was before they had that like overpass or ramp, and they still have the auction scene. They still had some Blackbeard the pirate was still in there, and there was one drop, and it ends kind of the same way the Magic Kingdom version ends, and that's how you load, kind of like you do in Disneyland. and then you unload like you do at Disney World. So, but it was nice seeing the auction scene in there again. Again, Japanese are not as easily offended, I'll say, as we are here in the States. So, they enjoy that scene for what it is, and yeah. So that's it. Oh, Big Bam Beat was it, Joe? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, we did see that. Thomas asks, Disney travel agents don't seem to deal much with Tokyo Disneyland. Yeah, they don't really. They can't really book things here, the stateside travel agents, as far as I know. I don't ever work with a travel agent. I kind of like to do things on my own. Can I recommend any agencies or the best way? Ah, boy, what I did, there's two websites that I go to for all my information, and that's TDR Explorer, and he has a podcast called TDR Now. His name's Chris. I would definitely recommend TDR Explorer or Disney Tourist Blog. They both, Chris lives in Japan, and he's always going to the park, so he's more up to date. I think he's a little bit more, has more up to date current information about what's going on, especially how the Disney parks came out of COVID in Tokyo. Like they were a little slower than they were here, and so there was a lot of, it was very dynamic. So things changed from day to day, week to week, month to month, and he was always on top of it. There's a great Facebook group called Tokyo Disney that I would get on there and just ask questions. So, and if you're planning a trip, just hit me up. I can help you. I've been to the resort 4 times now. Know a little bit about it. But yeah, TDR Explorer, the Tokyo Disney Facebook group, 2 great resources there. Phantom Manor. Yeah, I've never been to Disneyland Paris, Joe, so it's something to look forward to. Yeah, so we kind of made our way through Adventureland. Unfortunately, Jungle Cruise was closed. The Swiss Family Treehouse was closed, which is still modeled after the film Swiss Family Robinson. The Tiki Room there, they do a version with Stitch that we didn't really, it wasn't open right away, so we were going to double back and we'll see it later. We just never really got back around that way. We went into Frontierland, which is very wide open space. I'll share some videos later, but you can see how wide the walkways are, especially through Frontierland and Fantasyland. Very wide, which is kind of odd for Japan. When you think of Japan, you think of very tons of people, very densely populated area. You know, you're like cheek to cheek with people, shoulder to shoulder. But Disneyland's very different with their walkways. They're very wide, and you know, when they built Tokyo Disneyland, they kind of took the best of Disneyland California and Magic Kingdom Florida and built Disneyland there that way. So you have the nice wide walkways and open spaces. Their hub is gigantic. It's just huge. It's massive. So, but you know, it wasn't that busy of a day. I think other than Beauty and the Beast, we didn't really see too many wait times, more than 45 minutes, which is kind of nice. Because on the weekends, most rides like Splash Mountain, Pooh's Honey Hunt, those are going to be 90-minute, 120-minute waits, you know, easy on the weekends. So definitely, you know, I'll hammer that home again. Tuesdays, Thursdays, probably your best days to go. So, all right. So we did Big Thunder Mountain and just kind of enjoyed Frontierland. I got a big kick out of the music that was playing there. When we walked into that land, they had California Gold playing over the speaker, which is, of course, can anybody tell me what film California Gold comes from? Yeah, that's a good little trivia question there for you guys. But it's a live action film, one of my favorites, of course. And it's just really fun to hear a lot of that music. And we heard some more in the queue to Big Thunder Mountain. Then we walked over to Splash, and it was fun to be able to experience that attraction again. So Miss Cater's got Bullwhip Griffin. Yeah. It's like, I'm like, that's California Gold. It's from Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin. And people are looking at me like, who? they most don't speak English, and so it was, it was just really awkward. I was in my own little world. It's like, yeah, Bullwhip Griffin, Roddy McDowell, or hey, yeah, me, I'm happy. So even my family was like, dude, Dad, chill, come on. So Splash, yeah, great. It's still there, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Critter Country is just so detailed over there. I've shared some posts on Instagram, so if you've seen some videos, all the little critter houses are cute, and the Japanese just love the ride. They love the characters. That's one thing that just impresses me about the Japanese people. How they're not sure the film Song of the South is problematic. It's got some issues. I mean, yeah, but it's still a great movie. But see, this is the thing again. They have the ability to look for the good in things and take that out and celebrate it, which you can do with Splash Mountain. So there's a lot of good in Song of the South that you can take out of the film, pull it out of context, keep the attraction open for people to enjoy. And that's the problem I have with the States. Like, why can't they just keep that film? Why do they have to focus on the bad part of Song of the South? Why can't they delineate between good and bad, keep the good, keep the attraction, and build Tiana her own attraction? It doesn't register with me. But they focus so much on the bad and just cancel it. Like anything that's like 2 or 3 degrees of separation from the bad is still bad. So you can't have it. So that's got to go away. So the Japanese, they don't think that way. They're able to look for the good, keep it, and I think Splash will be around for a long time. They don't have any of the the Brer character merch anymore, so that was kind of a bummer. I was kind of hoping to get a few things. I didn't even really see any Splash Mountain attraction merch either, so I think that's because Disney doesn't own the land there. The Oriental Land Company does, but they do license the characters and some of the merchandise from Disneyland. And so since Disney is not making Splash Mountain merchandise, it's not going to be available for sale in Tokyo. So, but no biggie. You can always buy that stuff on eBay. The old stuff. But yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. They have a great restaurant in Critter Country called Grandma Sarah's Kitchen, which is basically like you go in there and it's like you're a little critter from Critter Country. Just go and have food. They have so many cool little details. There's little critter houses scattered throughout the restaurant. It's like 2 or 3 levels, and it's just the theming's great. And the food is a lot of fun too. Smaller portions, but I guess that's how Japanese stay so thin and in shape. Yeah, so a great area, Critter Country. They have the canoe ride over there. It was like 95 degrees and 100% humidity, so we didn't do it. But after that, we watched a couple parades. They have like a cool down or a splash down parade that features Baymax, so that was fun. And then we watched the afternoon parade, which was called, I got it written down here. It was called Disney Harmony and Color. And wow, the colors were so gorgeous. And it was a nice sunny day, so everything really popped. Lots of great characters. I mean, they had a Zootopia float and a float from Up, Coco, the Baymax float. Not only Baymax and Hiro and Baymax on the float, but they had all the other characters like skating around. So if you're a big Hero 6 fan, you need to go to Tokyo Disneyland. I'll tell you, they love Baymax, and there's so many crazy Baymax food items. There's a restaurant that sells like curry, and the rice is shaped like Baymax lounging, like the curry is a hot tub, and then they stick Baymax in there, rice Baymax, and he's just kind of like sitting on the edge and he's got his arms out like he's relaxing in his curry hot tub. There's pictures out there online. It's cute. And then, of course, they have the Happy Baymax ride, which is a copy of Mater's Junkyard Jamboree and Alien Swirling Sauce. It's the same kind of ride concept, but the Japanese take it to a whole new level. They're, they have people come to the park and they'll spend the whole day watching the Happy Baymax ride, and they will dance. Like there's about 6 or 7 different songs, so there's 6 or 7 different dances, and it's just a party all day. They just love it. Yeah, and it was hilarious and so much fun. So much fun watching and interacting with other guests there. That's just another thing that I love about the parks in Japan. It's like the cast is great. I mean, any Disney park you go to, the cast is going to be great. Japan, they're on a whole nother level. It is a cultural thing. So there's 2 things I'll say. And it's not just the Japanese cast members, but it's basically any employee in Japan. And they are genuinely appreciative that you spent money and time to go to their place of employment, because you're going there to enjoy yourself, and it's their job to make sure that you are going to enjoy yourself, because it's not just their job, it's their livelihood. And they're very aware of that and cognizant of that. Like, because you showed up to the park that day, they're going to give you the best experience because you are directly contributing to their livelihood. They're earning a paycheck from you. They're taking the money from that paycheck and feeding their family or supporting their life, saving it for something in their own life. That's like in the forefront of their mind all the time. It's like if we all thought that way, if we're in the customer service business, like we are there to serve the customer, and the customer provides us with our livelihood. And the other thing is with guests, it's like they are so considerate of you, of each other. Like I would say that the Japanese guests are more interested that others are having as much fun as they are having. They want to make sure they're having a good time, but they're even more aware and concerned if others around them are having a good time. It's just, I can't explain it. You just have to be there. And if you've been to the parks, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's just like no one's looking out for number one over there. They're always looking out for other people. And, that's just the way it is. And it's just so pleasant and refreshing. Everybody waves to each other. I mean, you see that in the States too, but they take waving to a whole nother level. First of all, they wave with both hands. Like, hi, everybody, woo! It's so much fun. So, let me catch up on some of these comments here. Miss Cater says, would have geeked out for the music. Yeah. Oh, when I was in Disney Sea, they played Whale of a Tale somewhere, and I lost it. Amazing background music. Yep. One of the best things about the parks there. Just, it's so unique to the parks there. And you can find a lot of the area background music on YouTube. So go do a YouTube search for that. Duffy, oh my gosh. And in Hong Kong Disneyland too. Yeah, we went to Hong Kong in 2017, and Duffy is just, if you're a Duffy fan, you're like in heaven. So that's all I'll say. The Baymax ride soundtrack's on Spotify. Sweet. Yeah, very friendly and interactive folks. They genuinely wave and say hi and love that you're there. Yeah, it's exactly like that. That's the way it should be. You're right, Connie. It's a whole nother level. And it makes it so much fun. Like, you're just walking around with a smile on your face. And in turn, you see how you're being treated by the cast and other guests. It's like the golden rule to, another level that you never knew existed. It's just so much fun. And of course, you never want to stand out there. That's another thing about Japanese culture. You're trying to blend in, and if if it's too much about you, or you start having a meltdown, Like, I don't think I ever saw a meltdown. They just don't do that. They're more reserved with their meltdowns. So they're reserved to the point where you don't notice it. So yeah, the parade was great. Yeah, so much fun. And then they have all the classic characters, and Peter Pan, and the last float was the 40th anniversary float, and all the the Fab Five, and a lot of the princesses are dressed in the 40th anniversary kind of get up. So we saw the show Mickey's Magical Musical World, which was really good. I mean, at, first of all, Baloo and Louie were in there doing a dance, so I got pretty happy about that. Always fun to see Jungle Book represented. And then I think the most impressive part of that was they had this ship come out in a lot of fog, and it was Peter Pan, like Captain Hook's ship, and Pan and Hook were fighting on it, and then it transformed into Eric's ship from Little Mermaid, and on a screen behind it you saw Ursula, and so it got really dark and more fog, and then it kind of got into the villainous portion of the show. So it was a really cool transition from like happy, all the characters are out singing, and then Captain Hook shows up. It gets dark, and then it's completely dark, and then it transforms into Ursula. Kind of like Phantasmic, how Ursula's introduced into Phantasmic there. It was cool. Very good show. Highly recommend you do that. And the one thing about shows in Japan is you can't film them. They will not let you take pictures. They will not let you take video once the show starts. They will, if they see a camera come out, the cast is really quick to help you shut it off. And let's see, of course, we did Beauty and the Beast. Wow, that was an amazing attraction. I mean, the Beauty and the Beast land is just, you walk in there and it's like you're in the village. And it's like the first scene in the movie. All the buildings, I mean, of course, no one's walking around. Marie the Baguettes and the three girls singing, and Gaston shooting ducks and stuff like that. You can imagine that that's happening in that space, of course. But it's just really well detailed and themed. And one little detail that I loved is when you walk up to Beast Castle, in front of the castle was that carriage. The one with no wheels, it's got legs. It's the one that takes Maurice back home after Belle agrees to be the Beast prisoner. Yeah, and I posted those pictures today. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, it was so cool to see that. I'm like, wow, they didn't have to put that in there, but the Imagineers over. I mean, they're the same Imagineers that work for WED in the States. Is WED still? It's just WDI, right? They're the ones that put the park together, but they have like free reign over there, unlimited income. so they can just kind of like, they have no budget, so they put in all these extra details. And we got in there. When you go into the attraction, you kind of enter the West Wing, and you think you're just going to hang out until you get on a ride vehicle, but then there's this whole pre-show. I'm not going to spoil it at all. The pre-show was just it. You're like, if that was the ride, you would have walked out satisfied. But then, of course, you go into the show area, and you get in these teacups, and it's a trackless ride system, and you go through different scenes of the movie. It's so awesome. And it's so lifelike. The audio animatronics there will just kind of knock your socks off. It easily became our most favorite attraction at Disneyland. And yeah, it was great. And then, we did our favorites there. Honey Hunt, which is a really fun trackless ride. You meet Tigger, and he's bouncing around, and you're bouncing around in your honey pot. And it's a lot of fun. All these you can see on YouTube. And I'm not going to get too much into the attractions because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Yeah. And then towards the end of the day, we saw the electrical parade, which is called Dream Lights, and I'll try to post some photos. Of course, they had Elliot, and Pete, just very colorful. It was so cool. But the most amazing photo was the genie who could basically the genie could transform himself into any character, maintain his genie shape, but he would transform into all these different characters. So with these LED lights that were just spectacular to look at. And then, by that time, the park closed at 9. And that's one difference about the parks in Japan. So the park closes at 9. That's it. All the shops, all the attractions are closed. So they will, let's say there's a 45-minute wait for an attraction. They will cut the line at 8:15. At 8:15, you cannot get into the line for that attraction. Because they want the queue to empty out right when the park closes. So some of the shops will stay open maybe 5, 10. We saw one shop stay open 30 minutes after closing, which was like kind of rare. But most everything closes right at 9, and that's just because the cast members need it to clean everything up, clock out, and get on a train, because most of the trains, they stop running at midnight, so they need to get back on the train and back home. So they close everything right on time. And a lot of the restaurants and stuff in Japan are like that too. So if the closing time is 10, last order will be 9:30. They won't let anybody in the restaurant after 9:30, and you have to order your food by 9:30, or they won't let you in. So yeah, that was our first day at Disneyland. And so before I talk about Disney Sea, so if you guys need to go, but you want to find out what's going on with the giveaway, let me kind of show you what I'm going to do for that. I haven't really decided if I'm going to do one or two giveaways, but I feel bad I'm taking some of the merch away. But I kind of wanted to do a little so I'm going to give this out. This will be part of the giveaway. I got these cool little Post-it notes here. That's part of it. And some notepads. A magnet from Miracosta, or a button, and a magnet. Those are cool. This little Chandu thing that you can clip on your iPhone charger. I thought that was cute. One of those little Haunted Mansion mystery boxes. That'll go in that. Sorry, the pillow and the popcorn box, I'm keeping that. But this little 40th anniversary tin is part of it. And it's got, it's really cool. See, these were all the characters, what they look like. And their little get up. And it's got like some individually wrapped chocolates inside. And what else? I'm missing some things. Oh, here we go. This is a couple things I bought at the Disney store. So this is this little Saludos Amigos bag, right? And I'm not going to open it up. I've got one opened up already. Hold on. I'll walk over here. You can see my Disneyland map and my vinyls surrounding it. Okay. So the bag is the Saludos Amigos, and then inside the bag are these cool slippers. Look at these slippers. It's like the 3 Caballero slippers. 2 slippers, one for each foot. So that comes in this bag. So you get an unopened bag. Of course, these are mine. I bought 2, one for me and then one for the giveaway. Now, these were on sale at the Disney store in Japan, like for 50% off. So there were 2 left on the shelf. I grabbed both of them. So one of them is going to go to a lucky winner. And these 2 last things are like, I think this is the highlight. Well, maybe. Look at this little thing. It's Lady. And it's a Noritake cup and saucer. Can you read that? Noritake is one of the greatest, one of the best china makers. So there's a little lady one. I'm not going to open it, but it's basically the same design of lady on a cup and a saucer. So I've got one with lady, and the Japanese absolutely love Aristocats, and the other one is Marie. So another tea, another cup and saucer. So it'll be like a little set. So the winner will get both of these. I might just do it all in one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just do it all in one? So you get all of this stuff, right? There's something else that it's missing, and I can't remember what it is. I've got a few knickknacks. I wanted to put some maps, but they don't really have the maps. Oh, here's the other thing. So one of my favorite things to do in Japan is go to record stores. They still have Tower Records over there, and they have a lot of great independent record stores. And I basically budget $200 or $300 a trip to go out and buy music. Just buy a bunch of CDs. Like I just have look, here's my classical music CD collection. That's just half of it. And I've got more CDs on the ground, and I'm kind of going through my collection. There's more CDs that I'm ripping into iTunes. There's Pollyanna. How you doing? And here's the rest of it. So I used to be a classical music DJ, and a lot of the music I got was from the radio station. They just unloaded a lot of CDs, but I've been listening to classical since I was like a sophomore in high school, so 16-ish. Oh, I dropped the phone. Okay, it's just dark because you're just looking at carpet. Sorry. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Earthquake. So I went into a record store and I found this Mary Poppins album. So I'm going to give this away to the winner as well. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this good enough for one massive giveaway? I mean, that's a big box of stuff. But maybe I'll do that. I'll think about it. Feel free to chime in. How would you do it? Would you do like a Tokyo Disney Store Japan giveaway and just do the slippers and these things, and then the Tokyo Disney Resort 40th anniversary stuff? Maybe two separate giveaways, or just all in one lot? I don't know. So yeah, so this is the Mary Poppins album, and on the back it's in Japanese, so that's cool. So this says Mary Poppinsu and has all the names of the actors in their so this says world debut soundtrack. So I can't remember how to say that. So, but I can read all this other stuff. And these are it says original soundtrack. Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman are the writers. And then you've got Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. And this is debut. Gosh, sometimes it's so Tomari. Oh, David. Davido Tomurinson. And, basically, you can guess who the rest of these guys are. But yeah, it's kind of a big haul. But then again, the dollar is very strong over there. Like this album's used. It only costs 500 yen, which is about $3 maybe. These were pretty. They were regular price was 3,850. They were 50% off, which was 1,900 yen, which is about $13. So I bought two of those. So 26, maybe 30. This it's probably like maybe $50 to $60 of stuff. So no big whoop. I'm happy to do it. You guys bring me a lot of joy joining me on this live chat and interacting with me on a daily basis. It's the least I could do to show my appreciation. So I'll figure it out. I'll probably figure it out by Sunday, and at which time Sunday I'll probably start the giveaway and figure out how I want to do it. So but feel free to how would you break this? What Miss Cater says, whatever's easiest for you. That's one big haul. It is a big haul, but it's cool. Uh, yeah, I just kept. Oh, that would be cool for the giveaway. Let me get that. Oh, that would be cool too. Let me get that. So I was thinking maybe I'd do 3 or 4. So we're just about at an hour, so we'll just do go 15 more minutes, and I'll talk about Disney Sea and some um, final topics here. So the next day was Tokyo Disney Sea, which if you had one day to go to Disneyland, the Tokyo Disney Resort, please choose Tokyo Disney Sea. It's so unique. The theming, the details are. I mean, everybody. The word is out on Tokyo, right? Nothing's new. I'm sure if you're a diehard Disney fan, you've heard about how awesome Tokyo Disney Sea is, and it's when you get there, you realize all the hype uh, was true. It does not disappoint. I mean, you're not gonna. I don't unless you're like totally insensitive to awesomeness. You're gonna be wowed and maybe have to take a little break and sit down on the bench to overcome your pixie dust overload. It's such a great park. So Disney Sea, we got there a little late. We did we did Premier Pass 3 times. I think we spent about 15,000 yen on Premier Pass for Journey to the Center of the Earth, Tower of Terror, and Soaring, which was the new ride to us that was just built. Oh, so we walked in. We went straight to Mysterious Island. We were going to do Journey to the Center of the Earth first, but the wait time was already like 70 minutes. So we're like, oh, we'll just buy the fast pass for that, like the Lightning Lane, where you pay for it. That's what we did. We did that with 3 attractions that day. So we did 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is basically it simulates you're in a little submersible that feels like you're going underwater, and you go around and you're exploring the depths of the ocean, and you meet some interesting creatures down there. Oh, we saw the Country Bear Jamboree in Disneyland. Forgot to say that. And it was the original show, uncut. Every other time we've been to Disneyland over there, it was the Vacation Hoedown. So it was cool. Hey, Henry didn't have his camp t-shirt on. He was in this getup. So it was awesome. Yeah, so 20,000 Leagues Into the Sea was really fun. And then our Premier Pass return time for Soaring came. And so we were super excited for this attraction. I thought it was going to be a completely unique experience. And it was until we got on the attraction. So the whole story behind it, it's definitely a unique story. It's basically a Renaissance era of flight. And one of the lady who introduces you to flight, her name is like Amelia Falco. She's one of the explorers for the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, SEA, which is a big deal in Tokyo Disney Sea. I mean, that's their headquarters, Fortress of Explorations, that area where Magellan's, the restaurant, is there. So if you look at pictures of Disney Sea and you see the volcano, that whole area in front of the volcano, that area is like headquarters for the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. So she's one of those, and she's talking about the origins of flight as it pertains to that era, the Renaissance area in Italy, because that's the area of the park the attraction is in. When you first walk in Disney Sea, it's like Venice or Italy, and it'll knock your socks off, like the detail. I mean, I've never been to Italy or Venice or the coast, but I imagine it's pretty spot on, the theming. So you get this cool story, but then when you go into the attraction, it's exactly like soaring around the world. And when my family and I were kind of like, wah wah, we spent 10,000 yen for the fast pass to re-ride soaring around the world. So, but we got the theming, and I got the little ride vehicle that I showed you earlier. But yeah, just be prepared for that. I didn't know, because I didn't I thought it was going to be a different video for some reason. But we still saw Super Bindi, Taj Mahal, and all that stuff. But it is what it is. So after soaring, we made our way over to the American waterfront and went to go see the show Big Band Beat, which we didn't get a lottery. We didn't get a reserved seat lottery for that. So we had to do the first show standby, and we just barely made it in. And I'll tell you, this was the first time we really felt the effects of COVID over there, because they haven't got all of their show performers back. We've seen Big Band Beat 3 times previous, and every other time they had a full swing band on stage. Just think of what is it? What are some of those swing bands in the 40s? Is it Benny Goodman? I can't. My brain is off for the day. Yeah, like a full-on swing band out there, playing live music with all the dancers. They had the dancers, but everything was on a recording. One of the highlights of the show is Mickey and Minnie dancing around, and then Mickey goes and plays the drums. And that is just like an amazing moment. Glenn Miller. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, something like that. But just top-rate musicians, and it's over the top. It's a spectacle. Even without the band, it's still kind of a spectacle, but it was kind of disappointing not having that live music, because that's really what gives you the feels, right? Like that gives it a little bit of the power of the moment of the show. So, but still a great show, a wonderful theater, and it packs. The house is packed. Every show we went to see, packed. They love their shows over there. And all the characters dancing around. It's fun. So after that, we just kind of lingered around the American waterfront for a while. My wife and I wanted to go to the Teddy Roosevelt Lounge. So there's this big steamship in that land called the SS Columbia. It has a lounge and a restaurant. It also houses Turtle Talk with Crush at the base or the hole. There's like a door that you go through to see the show. But the Teddy Roosevelt Lounge is, if you had one place to do like a sit down, do it there. It is just, it's amazing. It's like, it's a full on, like, think of the Titanic, like the movie, like going into the lounge where the guys are drinking the cigars and brandy. That kind of place that's it. And you're in Japan in this Teddy Roosevelt themed lounge having a drink. It's surreal. And you've got all this Teddy Roosevelt paraphernalia decorated throughout, like pictures of him. Of course, he was one of the coolest presidents, one of the most outdoorsy presidents. He was a Rough Rider, so there's pictures of him on his horses and all of his hobbies and little knickknacks scattered around. But the real dark, deep dark cherry wood and the dark chairs with that fabric with the buttons on it. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's so plush. I mean, or posh, I guess is the right word. I don't know if posh is the right word. It's just very, very early 20th century elegance, and it's so cool. I mean, I'll post a photo of what we ate. I mean, I don't drink, so I had a non-alcoholic drink. It was called like the Mermaid Lagoon. It was very tropical. My wife had like one of the best mojitos that she ever drank. Presentation. It's all about presentation there. We got this little appetizer where it was 7 different little finger foods, and each one was decorated to look like the land, one of the ports. They call them ports in Disney Sea. So when I post about it, I'll go through and explain. But it's just the presentation was amazing. And that was it. I got a few coasters from the Teddy Roosevelt Lounge, and I'll put one of the coasters in this giveaway thing. So yeah, that's neat. neat spot. So we kind of just like enjoyed that for about an hour, and then we got back together with the kids, and we went to, boy, I don't remember what it's such a blur because you're just looking around at everything, soaking in the details. Well, we rode the railway, the train. There's like an elevated, kind of like Chicago, like the, what do they call it, the L. So there's yeah, oh, the Small World pillow and the popcorn bucket. Oh yeah, that's another thing in Disneyland I forgot to mention. Every other time we went to Disneyland there, It's a Small World was closed, so we finally got to ride it. It's so cute over there. It's very similar to Magic Kingdom's version inside, but they have the characters like Disneyland, and they have just the cutest queue. All these little Small World dolls all over the place. It's really fun. Um, yeah, it was really nice. So after that, we kind of went towards the back of the park and did the Indiana Jones, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's an amazing attraction. It's very similar to Disneyland. A few little extra surprises in there, and the temple that you walk through is the detail is amazing. Oh, we rode Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is in mysterious Chef's Kiss with the popcorn bucket. Yeah. Journey to the Center of the Earth is probably my second favorite attraction. The theming at Mysterious Island, the land it's in, it's just, it's like, it's Volcania, basically, in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the film where uh, Captain Nemo built the Nautilus submarine. That you can see the Nautilus in the bay in the middle of the island. And then you've got this whole Jules Verne vibe. So, of course, you've got all the machinery digging into the mountain, digging down. So when you go into Journey to the Center of the Earth, there's a queue. You're like underground, and there's like laboratory and research stations and little knickknacks and things that you can look at. And then to get down to the attraction vehicle, you get put in this elevator, and it simulates like you're going down miles and miles in this elevator. It feels like you're going down, and you hear all these sounds that sound make you feel like you're really descending a great distance. And then you get to the bottom, and it's really dark and damp and misty in there. It feels like you're way down. And you get in these vehicles that look like they're just boring into the earth, and you ride around. It's a little slow at first. You're kind of going through and seeing all the wonders of the things in the center of the earth and different creatures and whatnot. And then it gets a little exciting at the end. So there's some surprises there. Kind of shoots you out of the volcano and a little roller coastery. So it's got some nice thrills. It's a fun ride. We rode it twice that day. In fact, that's the only attraction we experienced multiple times in the 2 days. So after Journey, we did Indiana Jones, and then we worked our way back to the Arabian coast and got on my favorite attraction in the world, which is Sinbad's Storybook Voyage. Okay, you've got this little guy, Sinbad, and his tiger friend, Chandu, going on these adventures. Their town gets robbed, or there's a whole story of them going around trying to get back the treasures that were stolen from this village. And just it's so hard to explain the feelings I have with this attraction. Like, of course, the audio animatronics are like the most fluid, lifelike that I've ever seen. And there's so many of them. There's got to be at least 70 or 80. It's just crazy. The crowd's crazy. I'll tell you what, the day at Disney Sea was a little crazy for a Wednesday. We weren't sure why. A lot of businesses in Japan will close on Wednesdays, so maybe that's why. There were a lot more tourists here this time around. We saw a lot more from China, Australia, Just in general, I think it was a good, maybe on our previous trips, it was probably like 90% Japanese, 10% foreigners. This is probably like 70-30. Of course, the word's out on how awesome Tokyo parks are, and they just opened for business, to foreigners recently within the last year. So, and this is the first summer, and so there were a lot of folks there. Wednesday was pretty busy. Not quite Saturday busy, but the lines were longer. They were long enough to where, it was our only day in the park, and we're like, you know what? We're not going to waste all this time in line. We'll just buy the Premier Pass and just, we're there. Money's money, You can always earn the money again, right? You can't, unless you live in Tokyo, those experiences are going to be few and far between. So they don't have they don't have Genie Plus. They have what's called Premier Pass, so it's the Lightning Lane version of Disney Plus. The paid part of Genie Plus. That's all they had. I guess on really busy days they do have a Genie Plus thing where you can, which is called Standby, but it doesn't cost anything to get the Standby Pass, which is basically works like the old what they had at Disneyland. You could pay $10 or $15. What was it called? I can't remember, but you could reserve. You can hold one at a time and then get a new one after you. It still works just like Genie Plus, but it's free. Premier Pass did cost something. So, anyways, back to Sinbad. So, the collection of these audio animatronics is it's just jaw dropping. And then the song, the music. It's a song called Compass of Your Heart, written by Alan Menken. And it's just, when I hear that song, I think Disney Sea. It just conjures up so many wonderful memories of being in the park. It's like, to me, Max Pass. Thanks, Miss Caters. That's what it was called. It worked just like Max Pass, but you couldn't hold multiples. It was just one at a time. So it's kind of like Genie Plus. Yeah. But this attraction is just so fun. I put a little video up, and I'll share some more images later. But it's my most favorite attraction in the world. So after we got on that, it started raining a little bit, which was good timing, because then we went to Little Mermaid, the Mermaid Land, which is an indoor area. No, they didn't have belly dancers like they do in Morocco. It was pretty quiet in the Arabian coast. There were a couple stores closed, and they weren't the shop that sold chandu tails. Like, we ate a lot of snacks there. We got the little yukiwa bun, which was usually it's like Donald in an inner tube, and you're eating his butt. This time it was Mickey Mouse on a 40th anniversary bun that you ate. So smoked chicken legs. Chandu tail is kind of like a cream chicken inside of an orange and black bun. So they didn't have that this time, so we were sad because that's really good. Then they have like this smoked gyoza dog. It's like think of like the more of the bready bun with the hot dog in the middle. There's so many fun snacks over there. Are there lots of characters to meet? Yeah, there's lots of characters that walk around that you can meet. They don't really have character meet and greets where you queue up. They just kind of show up and you just go around and meet them. But the parades and shows is really where the Japanese love to see. They love to see the characters in their element, doing their dancing and things like that. There's guests that line up for the parade right when the park opens. They'll set their little mat down and spend the whole day there waiting for the parade. They'll wait 4 or 5 hours for it. So, so lots of snacks. And what else did we do? Oh, we went and did Tower of Terror, which is a different story, of course, than what we see in the States. It's not based on Twilight Zone at all. It's based on a guy named Harrison Hightower who looks a lot like Joe Rohde, and he's an eccentric collector. Sometimes acquires his items illegally, which was the case with this little guy, this little idol that he got. He kind of was a bad dude, got this idol, took him back to New York into his high-rise hotel, and then, of course, it's a cursed idol, and he has this effect on elevators, you know. So the whole attraction, you kind of learn about that story, and you go through his places in his penthouse where he keeps all his things, and it's pretty neat. Yeah, Duffy in WDW. I know, I don't, why, Duffy just didn't catch on in the States like it does over there. Duffy's huge. He has his own little land in Cape Cod, and we went walking through there, and that's where I heard 20,000 Leagues, or Whale of a Tale from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea playing. And there's shops with Duffy merch and Duffy's friends, and they have these little photo stations scattered throughout the park where you can put your little Duffy doll on the little seat, and there's little knickknacks you can put, and it makes it look like he's a guest in the park. And guests will like sit at a table, and they'll set a whole place for their Duffy plush. Like they'll put the food out there, like Duffy's portion and your portion, and you're sitting there, and they'll take pictures of everything, and it's just so fun. So at nighttime, we watched their nighttime parade, which was basically a celebration of 4 films like Coco, Peter Pan, Tangled, and Frozen, and it was a spectacular show. I was tired by that time, and we were standing to watch the show. We were standing on a slope, so it was pretty uncomfortable. But after the show was over, we got to, my youngest son and I ran over to Journey and rode that again. And that was pretty much the end of the night. We got to do a little shopping, but we hightailed it back over to downtown Disney and went to eat at Outback Steakhouse. Because they had one there, and my daughter, who has been living in Japan since February, really wanted like an American steak. So we decided to not eat like a sit-down meal in Disney Sea, and we saved room to go to Outback. So that was nice. So, you know, we sat in there, had a regular sized steak, got free refills, and just pigged out. So that was the trip to Tokyo Disney Resort. Like it was a blur, but it was so much fun. And I'll just reiterate again, like the cast there is just amazing. And the other guests, that's half the fun, is just interacting with the cast. They're so genuinely happy to have you there. And the other guests are really curious. Like if you go, try to wear something like that's like unique that they don't have there. Do a little bit of research so we can see what people wear to the parks there, and then do something different. Because if you do something different, they'll love you for it, and they'll come up to you, and they'll take pictures with you, and they'll ask you how you put your thing together. And I speak a little Japanese, so the language thing isn't too bad for me. But I think the cast and other guests want to help you so much that, with hand gestures and limited, they'll speak a little bit of English. You're not going to have any trouble. I mean, some of the shows and attractions are in Japanese, but if you're familiar with the story, you'll be fine. It's totally fine. You'll be so focused on the uniqueness of the parks and the special kind of magic that exists there that you're not really going to notice that the language is a problem. I hear a lot of people talk about, they're so worried about the language. How are they going to function over there? That when they come back, that's like, they didn't even think about it once. It was just, they had such a great time. So, all right, let me go back and look through here. They tried Duffy in Disneyland, but nobody knew who he was or what to do. Yeah, they had that little area in California Adventure where they sold Duffy, and it was like people would just ran past it to go to California Screamin'. It'd be fun to see Duffy on Disney Plus. Yes, Big Hero 6. I talked a lot about that when I talked about Disneyland. He's huge. Baymax has a float and 2 parades. He's got his own attraction. There's Baymax merch all over the place. They love their Baymax out there. But yeah, thanks for listening. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll post this whole episode to Instagram tonight. So if you caught the last part of it and you want to hear the front part, you can go back and watch that later, and I'll post it to my YouTube channel. So it's been a pleasure sharing this with you guys, and hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. My voice is starting to go. Jared, my co-host, was not able to join me, but he'll be back next month, and I think we're going to try to talk about the love bug. But some of the stuff I'm going to give away, so just pay attention, follow my account, share my account with your friends, or share my account with your friends, or my friends. I mean, yeah, if my friends are your friends, I'm losing it. We'll figure out how I'm going to do I'll figure out how I'm going to do the giveaway. If I might do 2 or just one big, huge one. But basically the way it's going to work is kind of like how I have my current giveaway with the wallets. It's like, you're going to need to like the post, and you're going to have to comment. And I think maybe share it with 2 friends, and, 1 entry per person, and something like that. So yeah, I'll think of all that and probably post it up on Sunday. Yeah, Miss Caters, do you think 2? What do you think? Should I do the 1 each of these, or do you think they should be a set? I think these should go together. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards 2, so I could do 1 this Sunday and another one next Sunday. So, but thanks everybody. I hope y'all have a great night and a wonderful weekend. I'm looking forward to this weekend to sleep, as I'm still recovering from jet lag. It's always the worst coming back from Japan. So if you have any questions about Tokyo, how to plan a trip there, just reach out to me. I can help you. Again, there's a few resources that I'll mention. The Tokyo Disney Facebook group on Facebook, TDR Explorer, and his podcast TDR Now is a great resource, and the Disney Tourist blog, and me. So just reach out. It's great. I think every Disney fan should try to get out there. Flights can be a little pricey, so just go to Google Flights and keep an eye on what the cost is. I think roughly you can get a round trip for anywhere between $1,000 and $1,200. So that's the main cost there, and of course the hotel once you get there. But I am so fortunate to have a wonderful wife who lives out there, and an apartment where we can stay for the whole time we go to visit. So, but yeah, it was a great time. I love Japan, and yeah, the flight is the hardest part. I mean, from San Francisco, it's an 11-hour flight. So if you're flying from somewhere more east of San Francisco, you're looking at it's a whole day of travel. Like, we live in San Antonio, so we flew from San Antonio to San Francisco, and then San Francisco to Osaka. We left here at 8 in the morning on a Thursday morning. We got to Japan Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So, of course, it's a time difference, but in total, it was about almost 20 hours of travel. So, oh, you live in Kobe, Hinano? Yay! That's where my wife lives. That's where we stayed. I love Kobe. Kobe is the best city. It's so, I don't know how to it's like so cosmopolitan is the word I would say. It's so historic and fun, and I love the people in Kobe. They are so cool. They're very fashionable. They dress nice. It's just wonderful. We lived out in Seishin. You know where Seishin Minami? Seishin Chuo? That's where we stay, out there in the west part of Kobe. But I love going to Sannomiya and shopping. Sannomiya is so fun. So, and we did several things in Kobe too. We did Nunobiki Gardens, and we went to Arima, the onsen, and just had a great time. So, yay! I love Kobe. That's cool. Thanks for reaching out. 0323 Hinano. Awesome. Yeah, 20 hours each way. It's a long flight. So, but you can watch movies and they give you food. Yeah, it goes by quick. It goes by quick on the way there. Coming back, it feels longer. But it's actually an hour shorter flight because you fly with the tailwind coming back to the U.S. So yeah, that'll be it for tonight, and I'll be back next Thursday. We'll do some trivia next Thursday night. It's been a while since I've done that. So thanks again for joining in, everybody. I'll talk to you next Thursday. We'll do some trivia. Have a magical night, and take care. Be happy. Look for the good. Look for the good in Disney. Focus on the good. Focus on what brings you joy, and you'll be happy. All right. Good night, everybody.